Hello and welcome. My name is Biagio Mazza, Pastoral Associate at Sabina Parish in Belton, Missouri, and I'm here to welcome you to another Do You Know series question. As we close our series on stewardship, today's Do You Know question is, do you know what stewardship of your God-given gift of treasure entails? Stewardship means that we take responsibility for all the things that we have been entrusted with, especially by God. Stewards are faithful in what's involved in taking care of gifts that have been entrusted to them. Stewards manage someone else's property, someone else's belongings. And as a result, stewards are caretakers. They take good care of what has been entrusted to them by the Lord. So as Christians, we believe that all the gifts that we have been given, have their source in God, have been given it, have been entrusted to us by God, to be cared for and to be used for our own good as well as for the good of others, especially those in need. In the gospel, Jesus challenges us as disciples to become partners in God's work. In the book of Genesis, teaches us that God desires us to be collaborators with God in the work of creation. So disciples take responsibility for all of God's gifts, especially the gifts of time, talent, and treasure. So to collaborate with God in this work really is to a profound sense of what stewardship is all about. So in this video, we address the whole notion of what the stewardship of the God-given gift of treasure entails. As with the other God-given gifts, especially time, talents, and treasure, as with the God-given gifts, the way we use and invest our money says a whole lot about who we are and what we hold dear. And so as a result, what do we treasure? How do you use your money? And why is this important? Because jumping off of Matthew chapter 6, verse 21, very clearly, Jesus clearly states in the Sermon on the Mount that where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. And so what do we treasure? What do we do with our money? As disciples, we are steward of all the resources we've been gifted with by God. We are not owners of what we have. So the key question might be, how much of God's money should I keep for my own needs? In the biblical tradition, all that we have comes from God. And so from God's many gifts, we are called to use what we need, only what we need, and to share and give the rest to others, especially those in need. So as disciples, we are to pray for the wisdom to understand the difference between our wants and our true needs. Giving and sharing with others in need honors God, first of all, and then is an act of trust in God, who provides us for all that for us whenever we are in need. And so this is pointed out very strongly by Jesus in the famous story in the Gospel of Mark and Luke with regards to the praising the widow who gave all. So this shows up in Mark chapter 12, verses 41 to 44, and Luke chapter 21, verses 1 to 4. So like the widow, giving should be sacrificial and generous. For it to be sacrificial and generous, this means that it has to come with a cost. It has to hit home. It should affect the way we live and the decisions that we make. Giving will at times be inconvenient. Giving should be done from the heart. It should be done out of motive of love of God and love of fellow human beings, especially those in need. Jumping off of Matthew 25, the last judgment scene, how we use our money to care for the hungry, the thirsty, the naked, the sick, and the prisoners becomes a key criteria of evaluating our relationship with God. Giving should be done cheerfully, with the right motive and intention, responding to our call to be collaborators with God in the work of creation. And one of the best ways for giving to be really profitable and surface in our mind is to make it planned and systematic, making giving a monthly budget item like your cable TV, your cell phone, or your eating out. So the key in all of this, as we talk about the stewardship of our God-given talents of God-given gift of treasure, is to always make sure that in our giving we address not just our needs, but that of the others in need as well. So I hope this has helped to explain just a bit of what stewardship of our God-given gift of treasure is all about. And I hope this series, as we close it, I hope this series helps you to become a better steward of all the gifts that God has given us, especially the gifts of time, talents, and treasure. And I hope you'll return again as we continue to delve into more of our spiritual traditions and our faith practices. Thank you very much.